Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mental Wealth Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Henning, and today we have a very special guest. I guess, she would be considered a member of our extended family, Miss Jacoya Rasheda. How are you, Jacoya?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am fantastic, good as always. I'm so happy you are here to join us. I always felt like when I had this idea originally that you were one of the first people that I thought of. For my wife and I, Summer at this point, you two are almost like twins at this point. So just the backstory on how you even kind of got to know us and what's happened since then is so amazing. So I always wanted to kind of touch on that story, and I hope to touch on a little bit of your background and also about what you do now. But just for the people who don't know you or this their first time see you, just describe your business and what your business entails.
Gotcha, no problem. And first of all, I want to, thank you for inviting me here. It's always an opportunity to work with you and some always. And
Oh, yeah.
everybody, hey, I'm Jacoya Rasheda. I have my credit repair business, which I started that in 2021 with Summer now.
Yes. Well, look, you gotta give us a little bit of credit. Like you, you learn from us, but you've been taking off on your own. So I don't even want to take full credit for that. You've been doing numbers on your own. This is to be clear. This is the only business that you had, correct? Like you don't have a 9 to 5. This is your full time business, credit repair business, correct?
Gotcha, yeah, that's correct. And I quit my work from home job probably like 2 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
2 years ago. Okay,
yeah.
that's gonna be dope. We're definitely gonna touch on that as well. So for like I said, for the people just meeting you for the first time, just give a little bit about your background, where you grew up, how you were raised, and things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm from Mississippi. I moved around. I was residing in Atlanta. I stayed up there about 2 years, and then I moved to Nevada. I stayed up there like almost 2 years, and then I made my way on back down here to Mississippi. And I
Okay.
started like I said, I started doing credit repair in 2021. So it almost been 3 years now. It's my full time job that I do. And I also have three kids as well, two boys and one girl.
Ages.
They're my boys. He's 11. My second boy, he's 8, and my little girl, she's 3.
Okay, so you got one in each category there. I know that's a handful in itself.
It is, especially
So,
the small.
ooh, yeah, I remember those terrible twos and terrible threes. It didn't get no better. So I definitely understand exactly where you been. So, and how did you go from, how did you end up in Mississippi? Because a lot of people are not moving to Mississippi. No offense to Mississippi, but a lot of people aren't moving to Mississippi. So, what brought you that way?
Well, I'm originally from Mississippi, so
Okay.
this original home, and I tried different states. It's just like the city is not for me. In Mississippi, it's more like laid back, more chilled, and that city is more like fast paced, and it's crowded with a lot of people, which
Right.
and
So,
I'm not
like a small
really
town.
with like crowds.
Okay. Well, you went from Atlanta and then Vegas. So, you went to two major cities before you went back to Mississippi. So, I can kind of see where you had that problem. Trying to, especially if you don't like you like more of a small town living, I can see where that could be an issue for you in Las
Yeah,
Vegas and Atlanta.
almost two busiest states.
Yeah, so I mean that is crazy. Like in terms of Mississippi, what is it like growing up in Mississippi? I've never been to Mississippi. I don't know anybody in
You
Mississippi.
haven't?
No, I've never. Once again, no offense to Mississippi. I've never been there. So if you were to have to describe Mississippi to someone who's never been, how would you describe growing up in Mississippi?
It's more like the country. It's more laid back. You know, are you familiar with Mississippi State?
Yes.
That's the town that I live in. So it's more like a little college town where we get. It's not too busy. Like when the college students here, that's when like all the parties and it's more busy then. But like like when school's out and stuff like that, then it's more like laid back and chilled, and it's just pretty quiet down here. I
Okay.
say it's more for older people.
Okay.
It's more
That's Starkville.
start.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's college football got me knowing all these towns. So,
That's
uh,
what it start being.
so that's the easiest way to remember that. So, growing up, both parents, one parent, how that work out for you?
Well, as growing up, it was just my mom, my dad. He was in and out of jail.
Raised by a single mother.
Just, huh?
Raised by a single mother.
Yeah, basically. But she married a guy, which that she married him at the age. I was at the age of 6, kind of, and he been there ever since, and he's still here, even though they got their divorce, and he's still here, as I did.
Okay, that's dope. I definitely understand that, and I think having that male influence growing up, even though it may not be biologically, is I
Hmm.
think is very important. I know you somebody who raised you as their own. I know that that's something that is a very important resource to have.
It is, and he don't have to do it, and he do it anyway, and that's
Right,
the good part about it.
right. All right. So fast forward. So you graduated high school in what year?
2014.
Okay, and then what did you do after high school?
After high school, I didn't go to college. I got my first job because I had my first child at the age of 17. So I was like right there. So I didn't have time to go to college. And, that's what I was thinking back then. So when I first got out of high school, I was working at Sonic for a little while. And then, I was going back and forth in between jobs. 'Cause like I stated, I was, moving from state to state. And my last job that I had, that was when I was a manager at Chicken Salad Chick. Have y'all heard of that?
Yeah, we got a few of those here.
Yeah, I was a manager there, and I quit once I got paid for summer, summer your I'm sorry, you and summer course. I quit that job, and then I got a work from home job, and then I've been doing that, and then that was my last job I had.
Okay, that work from home job. What were you doing?
I was Medicaid. I was working with Concentrics. It
Okay.
was Medicaid and Aetna.
Okay, I've been there because like, at this point, everybody knows a little bit about my story. I worked at my last job was working at Blue Cross, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, I was
That's
doing customer service there. So I did that for a couple of years before summer, and I started doing what we're doing now. So I know exactly what you're going through, what you went through in terms of working for an insurance company. That's a whole
oh,
nother thing.
it is. It's a
A whole
headache.
dealing with people and all that type of stuff. So I definitely understand that. Uh, so tell me or tell the audience about what it's like having a child at maybe a younger age than you probably imagined. I'm pretty sure you had plans for your life, that you had dreams, you had goals, and then boom, you have a child early. How does that change kind of what you decide to do with your life from that point?
I mean, it kind of pushed me back a little bit. I had to make some changes and stuff like that. But it was a blessing because I look at every situation as a blessing. Maybe it was meant for me to I don't want to say it like that, but maybe it was meant for me to happen, and in order for me to take a certain route or something like that. But I say he never sat me back or anything like that, because at the time I had my mama and I had an older sister and brother and stuff like that, and they helped me out as well as far as like babysitting, when I had to go to work and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. So we go from we're in Mississippi,
Hmm.
where we have our first child at 17. We have the first job. We're doing that job. How do we end up in the credit repair space? Specifically, what even drew you to wanting to start your own business to begin with? Because some people get to a point where they're working a regular job, and
Hmm.
even though they may not be making enough for them to do what they want to do, there's a lot of fears that come with kind of stepping out here and doing something they may not be familiar with. So, what made you even at that point in your life want to try something different than what you were already doing before?
Okay, so I'm gonna start from right here. Is that the move to Atlanta? Like, it really changed a lot of me. Like, it gave me a bigger mindset, and it kind of like knocked a lot of fear out of me, because once I moved to Atlanta, like, I didn't know anybody there. Like, I didn't even have no plans of like of doing nothing. Like, I was just so tired of the life that I had in Mississippi. I was just looking for a change or whatever. So I moved to Atlanta with probably like $30 in my pocket. I caught the bus and stuff like that. And I'm not ashamed of it. I stayed in a shelter. It was called the Salvation Army. It was like downtown over there by the Centennial Aquarium over there in there.
Yeah, you're sure about okay.
Yep. So I stayed over there, and I kind of I'm trying to figure out how to say it. It was okay because I left my kids in Mississippi, so I just came up there by myself, and it gave me more time enough like to think and try to figure out what I want to do with myself. And I got these kids, I got to try to think of some and try to figure out some to, help me and help my family. So
Okay.
that's one reason why I always wanted to start a business, because I always feel like everybody out here need help, and sometimes it's hard for other people to get help from people. So I always wanted to be like one of those people to like, you know, lend that helping hand to someone.
All right. So, and then at the time of the Atlanta move, we still have one child.
No, we have two
So we have
boys.
two at a time. So we moved to Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
to try to figure something out. So we feel stuck. We're stuck in Starksville. We're trying to start something new. We got
Mm-hmm.
two kids. We feel like we got a bigger responsibility. We want to try to make some of ourselves. You moved to Atlanta, and then you said Atlanta. You moved from Atlanta with no plan. How long were you in Atlanta?
I was in Atlanta about a year, about a year. I was
Okay.
a year.
Like the one thing about Atlanta is when you get into this city, exactly like you said, when you get into the city and you see everybody hustling, everybody
Mm-hmm.
has some type of side job, it,
Yeah,
it kind of rubs off on you to
yeah.
make
It,
you
it
want to
gave
do
me
something.
that boost. It
Yeah,
definitely gave me that boost that I needed.
it definitely give you that boost. So, all right, so we go from Atlanta and then we end up in Vegas.
Nevada,
Now, how'd
Reno.
you go from Atlanta to Vegas? Are we still trying to figure out who we are, what we want to do?
We still trying to figure it out. Just try to. I'm just trying to find myself. Trying to find out like what is it that I need to do. Like what is that I have to do. So I'm still just moving around trying to figure myself out.
Okay. Now, how for the women that may be watching, how hard is it to deal with specifically trying to figure things out while you not, while your kids are not with you? Because there are a lot of women who may not make that decision or that sacrifice because of maybe peer pressure or feeling like their struggle they have to do it with their children. So, what kind of went into your thinking to say, hey, okay, my children are in good care. I have to go figure this out, even if that means I have to go out of state and try to figure this out for the betterment of them.
Well, I say first of all, it's hard. I ain't even go, just sit here in front like it's easy. It's very hard. Like it was days that I wanted to just like go back home and stuff like that. It was days I was crying and stuff like that. And I called them every day, to check on them and stuff like that. But it's very hard. But I say the end result, is very rewarding because if I would have gave up then and I would have went back home, and then I still be in the same position. So all the stuff that I'm doing right now, I did it for no reason. So sometimes you got to put your emotion to the side and just, suck it up and just think about the finish line, and just make sure that your kids is with somebody that, care for them like you will.
Right. That's the main part because like I said, a lot of times your decisions, especially as a parent, your decisions are based off of the best interest of your children. And
Yeah,
sometimes not everybody will agree with those decisions from the outside. So it takes a lot of confidence and a lot of soul searching to make those type of decisions. And also, like I said, you're still trying to find yourself. You had kids kind of young, so you're still trying to figure things out. And I think a lot of times that is a very um, difficult time to go through on top of being responsible for other people. While you were in Vegas, what did you work any odd jobs or how did you stay afloat in Vegas? Because I know Vegas is not cheap.
it's not cheap. Good thing I have an uncle, my mama brother. He's like he's very wealthy, I say like that. And whenever he see that we trying, he'll try to help us out. So once he realized that I was in Vegas, before that he told me, once I get to Vegas, let him know. And I did that. And once I got there, he wired me some money, to keep myself up, while I was there.
Shout out to Unc.
Right, he came in
Shout
handy.
out to Unc.
So
Like
yeah,
that, and that tells you how important. I tell people all the time how important a network of people is, regardless of whether you're trying to start a business or whether you're trying to get your stuff together. Because having people who kind of believe in what you're trying to do and you're trying to better yourself, those people come in clutch at the most opportune time. So
they do.
shout out to Uncle for really putting in that work and making sure he looked out for you while you were still trying to figure out what you want to do.
Right. And I appreciate him that too. I sure appreciate him. And then in the process of that, he bought me a car.
Oh wow, okay. You
Yeah.
got you got to have a car. I know it's hard getting anywhere without no car.
It is, especially in the city.
So, shout
Especially.
out. So, okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Fast forward, we go from Vegas to back to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back to Mississippi, like you just said, we went from Atlanta to Vegas. The reason why we moved from Mississippi in the first place is because we were trying to better ourselves. So how
Mm-hmm.
did you end up back? What went into going back to Mississippi?
Um, I just felt like it wasn't. It came to my head like it wasn't the city that you was in. It's you. You know, it don't matter where you go. You can go a million places. If you don't try to better yourself first, then you know the situation's never gonna get right.
Right.
So, that's what gave me the mindset of just moving back home and try to focus and you know try to get it together.
That's another decision that's pretty tough to make. We just like, you know what? I'm tired of jumping from place to place. Let me
Yeah,
go back. Let me regroup a little bit.
it's time.
2021. 2021 is where you and I and Summer meet. Well,
Right.
technically we meet. You know,
Best year.
you take our course. This is after the pandemic. Pandemic happened. Well, this was after the initial pandemic. 2020, 2021 comes. We're still dealing with the pandemic. At that point, people were scared of losing their jobs. People were afraid that they wouldn't be able to have enough money to be able to survive. Everybody around that time was looking for something to bring them in extra money. So 2021, you take our course. How did you even find the course to take in the first place?
Well, I was just on Facebook and what's that word? I think Summer came across across my feed. I think it was about some shoes or something like that.
Mhm.
I seen her doing, and something just told me click on her page. And once I clicked on her page, that's when I seen like the course she was selling and stuff like that. So I went on y'all website and like did like the little reviews and stuff like that. And that's how I found her. That's
Okay.
exactly how I found her. And I was debating, like I thought about this for like a week straight. Like every night, some just kept telling me buy the course. This gonna be your breakthrough. And
Mhm.
I just kept thinking, I'm like, why is this just keep being in my head? I must, I have to do this. So that's what made me buy her course.
Okay. And at the time, do you feel like in hindsight at the time that you had that money to spare?
I didn't. I didn't. I'm not even go front. I didn't have that 399 to front. I ain't even have it. I was working at Chicken Salad Cheap, getting paid every 2 weeks at the little restaurant.
Mhm.
And we weren't making that much. And $400 back then, that was a lot.
Like $400 now. You know,
Yeah.
inflation aside, you can do a couple of at that point. You made the decision at that point where you were going to invest that money in yourself,
Hmm.
and there's no guarantee that that was going to work out in your favor, but you had enough faith to, kind of go about it and put the work in. Like I can testify that you were there every week, every live lesson, every Q&A. Your hand was raised, like you were completely entrenched in that process.
Yeah.
So at that point, where you, like I said, at the time we were teaching, how to start a credit repair business. So at the time, had you ever even heard about a credit repair business? Was that something you even interested in, or you were just trying to find something at that point to bring in some extra money for you and your family?
At that point, I was just trying to find, something to do, something to bring in some extra money because my little chicken salad chick job, it wasn't, it'll pay the bills and stuff like that. But, who just want to work to pay bills?
Right.
And I was just trying to find something that, I can make a little extra money off of. Like, I didn't know nothing about credit. And, like, probably like 2 months before that, I had reached out to my sister in Chicago, asking her, like, do you know anybody who can fix my credit? And good thing I ran into you guys.
Oh yeah, look, it's definitely a blessing across the board,
Right.
especially with credit because like we don't typically grow up. I know specifically, I didn't grow up being taught about credit, other than the fact that you get a credit card in the mail when you turn 18, you should probably just cut it up. So you're gonna get a
Right.
whole bunch of those when you turn 18, and credit is bad, and it's gonna get you into debt. And I'm pretty sure you had a lot of those same things. Credit is not something that's really talked about, at least at that time wasn't really
Right.
talked about. So getting into a business having to do with it, it also forces you to kind of, get your own credit together. So, during, I think at the time, I think the course was 6 weeks. During that
Mhm.
6 weeks, did you have any, doubts about yourself, whether you would actually be able to do this, or by the time you kind of get through it, it's like, okay, I can actually, this is something I can actually make some money off of.
No, like I never had a doubt about it. Like never had a doubt about it. I always like took my time and actually, read it and understood. And like after the course, I still did like more research on it. So I didn't just, stop at the course, which I gained more knowledge.
Yes, we tell people all the time, and this goes out to anybody who's watching, regardless of what industry you're in. Always keep researching, always keep learning, no matter what industry you are in, no matter what book you read, no matter what course you take. Always, always try to sharpen your skill. You can never know too much. So you get through the course. How long did it take you to launch your business officially, or did you start testing out people first? What was that process like for you?
So I started like a little lunch while, still while the course was still going. So I kind of lunched, in the middle of still learning.
Okay, and you felt confident when you first did it.
I did. I had a little, you know, what I'm gonna say. At
Nervousness.
at first, like when I lunched, I said that when I lunched and made the post, I kind of felt like, well, I need to be a little more popular, or people ain't gonna sign up with me. That's the kind of doubt that I had. But
Sure.
as far as anything else, it's pretty good.
Okay, and then when you launch, how many clients do you say you had within the first couple months?
The first couple months, it was, I say, an estimate of probably like maybe 8 to 10,
Okay,
and
so we're
that's
talking
good.
8 to 10 clients the first 2 months. Was
Yeah,
that scary?
I mean, it kind of was a little bit because I was, like I said, I was still, learning, and I didn't want to, like just in case that they had a question or something, I didn't have an answer for it. Like I always, it. So that's the part that was kind of a little scary. I felt like I should have had more knowledge. I learned anyway. I learned anyway. Like y'all say, do it scared. I learned anyway, but my clients they gained. I started first in my apartment complex that I was staying in back then. So mainly my clients was in my apartment building, and then I went to like start putting little flyers out in like the nearby stores over there. And to this day, my flyers still up.
Oh wow, so it's still up.
Still up. It's at a store and at a laundromat where I was staying at.
Okay, okay, so that's dope. So of course, being in the credit repair space, I'm pretty sure you've been in it since 2021. So there's kind of a stigma with credit repair, the industry as a whole. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who, got into it after the pandemic, got into it not really knowing what they were doing. So did you ever get any resistance to people maybe being like, credit repair is a scam, or, I'd rather do this myself, or anything like that?
I did. And actually, out of all my years of doing credit repair, I probably had like maybe 3 people that felt like it was a scam or something like that. And when I do feel like it's a scam, I just what I do, I give them knowledge, and then I just advise them. Like whenever you feel more comfortable, or you can do like more research, and you can always come back to us. So I always reassure them that it's never a rush. Take your time, do more reviews, whatever you got to do to make yourself more comfortable. Then you can come back to us.
That's fair. So it sounds like you learned pretty early that, not you don't need to take in everybody who comes to you, because
Yeah,
it'd be more of a headache if you take somebody who has doubt. Dealing with somebody who has some doubts, they're gonna constantly fight you at every turn. They may have unrealistic expectations, and it's gonna just be more work for you. So it sounds like you learned that pretty early.
I did. I did.
So, all right, now what do you think is in your opinion, what's the number one credit repair myth that's out here? Whether it be maybe what these other people are telling these people, so maybe they come to you with unrealistic expectations,
Mhm.
or maybe it's something that you see people are telling people or doing on the business side. Like, what's the number one myth about credit repair that you think you need to clear up?
I feel like they shouldn't tell people that they can get some removed off of their report, when they can't, or give them a time frame of when some go come off, and when it's not, because you can't put a time frame on when some go come off your report, because it's up to the creditors and the credit bureaus of when they go get it out. All you can do is, continue to do your part and continue to call, continue to send letters out and stuff like that.
So somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I need help fixing my credit." What are some things that you may ask them to see whether they're a good potential client for you?
So just say somebody sign up, I reach out to them first. I greet them and ask them, do they have any questions or concerns, before we get started, and then they'll, what if they do have any questions or concerns, they'll let me know, and then before we get started, I always give them a rundown of like what's going on, give them an estimated time frame of when they will start seeing results, not when stuff will start coming off of their report. And then I just try to educate them as well. Like once they do sign up, I don't just fix their credit. I educate them along the way. Like I send them ebooks monthly. I tell them, just say I see a client over their credit usage. When it's time for their month, I advise them, hey, your credit usage is over the limit this month and stuff like that. To like I just not try to fix their credit. I try to educate them so once they done with the program, they'll know what to do and what not to do. Instead of, like once they end a program, then 2-3 months later, they coming right back to you. Because I have some clients who do that. Even though I, educate them and try to give them much knowledge as I can, people go end up doing what they want to do anyway.
Right. What is somebody, you don't have to be specific, but what is the idea of somebody who maybe is a client that may cause a headache down the line? Like what expectations does maybe a bad client have that's kind of gives you like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a task?
Well, I had one client, like out of all my clients, this was the only client, well, I say was a bad client, because she came in, she was one of them, she wanted done like right now. She want her credit fixed overnight. And she was kind of like so demanding and stuff like that. So I parted, ways with her as a client. I got sent her email, a real nice, good email, which no disrespect or nothing like that. And I was just telling, like, this may not be the program from you, program for you or whatever. And, it's other credit repair companies that's out there that may can move on your time or, get your results within your time frame.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the only bad client that I had. And she was calling me like a scam and stuff like that because I couldn't do what she wanted to do at the time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think all businesses have those here and there. They don't, they're not the majority. They're like a very small minority. So you kind of got to just be, as like you said, be polite as you can and kind of move on from them and move on to the people who actually, want to embrace the help from there.
Mm-hmm.
So now you said when you first started, you were working your regular insurance job and also working the credit repair business. So this was 2021?
2021. No, 2022.
2022.
When I first signed up, I was working at Chicken Salad Cheap,
Okay.
and I stopped there at Chicken Salad Cheap and started doing credit. And I had that work from home job with Concentrics, working for Medicare and Aetna.
So as of now, so we got our 9 to 5 job, and then
Yep.
we have our credit, our credit repair service business on the side over here. At what point did you realize or decide I gotta let go of this insurance job and do this full time, or whether when you decided that you had the ability to leave this job behind and just do this full time? When was that?
Well, I'm gonna say it's kind of crazy because when I first did the course or whatever, I had like this dream. I had like this dream, and it was about once it was like you start this work from home job, you do this credit repair business, and then you get your house. I know it sounds crazy. You get your house, and once you get your house, you quit your work from home job.
That
And I
is
was
wow.
and I was thinking in my head like this kind of crazy. So like, and I went on ahead and I went on ahead and did it or whatever. And what I say? I
Like
forgot what I was gonna say,
that
Brian.
that is a major that's a major decision. You
It is.
get the house and then you leave the job.
Yeah,
That
that was the crazy part about it. And then like once I got the new house or whatever, I still was working a job, and my breaking point was I felt like I was giving too much of my energy to my work from home job than my business. Because once I get off, then I'd be too tired to even try to deal with my clients or do they credit reports. So I made a decision of what I was gonna do, and I just quit the job, and I've been working my business ever since. And
full time.
and when I say this is my only job, this is the only thing that I do. This what pays the mortgage, my car note, light bill, like all that.
That is amazing. So for anybody out there who doesn't think that one that you can start a business out here and it's just impossible because you come from a certain background or you have children or any of those things that people may use as maybe a reason or an excuse as to why they can't go out and start their business, like you are a testament to it. Like 3 kids, move from place to place. It sounds like you came from very humble beginnings to going from that to a full-time credit repair service business without any type of safety net. That is an accomplishment. So even looking back, did you ever think this is possible for yourself to even get to like this point?
I don't, like, sometimes I still just can't believe it. Like, I never thought that my business would be the only source of income that I got, and it pays all my bills. And once I, get all my bills out the way, I still have money to do like whatever I want to do.
That's
Like,
that.
it was scary at the beginning because I didn't see it, but now I see it. Like, I tell I tell everybody, try to go for your dreams. It may be scary at the beginning, but at the end you'll see like all your hard work.
That's a true testament there. So all right, so let's say I am a client or I'm a prospect. I come to you, I sign up, we have a consultation. What are some things you would tell them? I say, hey, I want to, I don't have any credit at all. I don't have any credit. I don't have any past collections. I'm just somebody with maybe a low score, but I have nothing reporting to my credit. What advice would you give somebody with no credit?
So first I educate them first, and then I move on to get them a secure credit card. With the first one probably be self, the other one probably like a self builder account. Try to get them like two new accounts to try to build a report up.
Okay, and just to make sure everybody understands, just define a secure credit card.
So a secure card, they require us a deposit, which each credit card have like a different deposit that you have to put down. And unsecured cards, which you don't need a deposit to put down on it.
Okay. Yeah. So a secure card, I got to put my own money.
Yep.
Unsecured card, they're giving me the credit limit. So a lot of people maybe not understand. Sometimes you have to put your own money up because if you don't have any history, you're going to have to put your own money up ahead of time to prove that you are responsible with somebody's money. It just having to be your own at first. So you have to kind of do that, build it up for a while, and then hopefully you'll be able to get one of those unsecured cards. Farther down the line, as long as you keep those payments together. Uh, all right, so no, I say I gave you the example. No credit, you're gonna tell me to go get some secure credit, and
Mhm.
let's say on the other end of that spectrum, let's say I have credit, but let's say I have a 540 credit score, got a couple of collections, uh, a couple of 90-day past due bills, and that's important. So I got some late payments. What would be your advice to somebody in that position?
Well, first off, I say don't apply for anything else while you in the
That's
while you
number one. Number one.
don't
Stop
apply for
stop
nothing.
trying to get anything else.
Right. And then we'll analyze their credit report. They'll receive a credit analyst will to their email address. And then we'll just first we'll go over over it with them, explaining, like, this is what is on your report, and this is what you need to do, and don't do this. And however, we'll start like we'll start like with maybe 5 negative accounts first, and then
Okay.
we'll send those negative accounts out first, and then we'll once the second round come in, then once we get those results, and then that's how we'll determine what the next step needs to be.
And then after that, all right. So we get into your program. We start working. We start working. On your end, what are some things that you're looking for on my credit report in order to assist me getting these removals? 'Cause I know it does depend on what type of account it is. How long it's been past due? Is it in collection? So what do you look for in terms of what to tackle first?
I mainly go for like they collections. I mainly go like what's in collection first, and then mainly once we get their collection part cleared, and then we'll work our way next to like charge off, and then the last thing we'll work our way towards is the credit cards. Since the credit cards is a little bit more hard than the other accounts. First, we'll try to determine which cards that they have first, and then advise them of the credit usage limit, and then the cards that they don't have, then we'll try to put those in dispute to get removed off their report.
Okay. And what's the difference between a charge off account and a collection account?
So charge off, I say it's like, well, first is collections, and then I say once the creditors or the collection people, feel like they can't get their money or something like that, then it'll move to charge off. That's how I look at it.
So anybody's watching who may want to say, hey, I want to start a credit repair business. Maybe I want to try to, generate some extra income for my family. What are the basic things that you feel like somebody would need outside of, education, of course? Like would it be software, licenses? What do you think? What would you advise would you give somebody who wants to start a credit repair business? What's some essential things that they need to get started?
I first say go to Ink File. That's where I got all of my business documents from. So they can
Okay.
go to Ink File to gain some of their business document. And as far as like the security bonds and stuff like that, it depends on your state, depends on where you live at to determine if you need one of those or not.
Okay. And what is a surety bond?
So a surety bond is more like your credit repair insurance. So just in case, like if you have like a rude customer or something like that, then if they try to sue you, then you'll be protected with your surety bond. And however, it also depends on where you stay at to determine if you need a surety bond for your business as well.
Okay. In Mississippi, you don't need a surety bond.
You don't, not for the state of Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure you check online to see whether your state requires one if you're going to get in this kind of business, because some do and then some don't. Software, do you need any type of software? Can I do this by hand?
You can do it by hand, but it'll just be a whole lot more work. I use Credit Repair Cloud, which is like $179 a month. It's kind of pricey, to start off with, and don't have clients or stuff like that, or if you just don't have any extra money. Credit Repair Cloud can be a little pricey, but it mainly do like everything for you. Like if you want to mail out the letters, you can print from there. They also have like a library with millions of letters that you can choose from to send to the creditors and credit bureaus. And if you don't want to, do all that mailing off and going to the post office to get stamps and stuff like that, you can also send it through the Credit Repair Cloud website, where they'll send it to the credit bureaus for you.
Okay. And that's always dope. Like I do remember that, because now, we used to do the credit repair, but now we actually are partnered with you, where people still ask for these type of services, and they're not asking because they're lazy, or they're not asking because they don't really understand what's going on. I think now more than ever, people are more educated. There's plenty of people out here who are educating people on the power of credit and why it's important. But there's still some people they don't have the time to do it themselves. So
Yeah, because
it's kind of that way.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Sending letters, then trying to call all three credit bureaus, then turn around trying to call creditors. You'll spend a whole day just calling credit bureaus.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have time for that. So,
Right.
they just in terms of as we start to wrap, first off, is there ever been a time where, because like you said, you're full time with this. This is your full time business. Has there ever been a time where you look back and see all that you've been through, and also see where it's gotten you, and look back and be like, man, I wish I would have maybe did something different? Or do you look at it more of like, all this that I've done up to this point got me to this point?
Yeah, I never, like I don't have no regrets. I'm thankful for all the experiences and everything that I had to do to get to where I'm at right now. Because I feel like if I would have did anything different, I may not be sitting right here, or have my business, or may not even be booming like that. So I appreciate every trial and tribulation that I had to go through.
I definitely understand that. I always tell people, like, I think our first year in business officially, I made more money that year than I did my entire 20s. So imagine making, back then, I was working at Cracker Barrel. I worked at Cracker Barrel, dish room, making salads, desserts. I made probably $30,000 to $40,000 a year, maybe, which in the grand scheme isn't a lot.
Yeah,
Try to stretch, and then you throw kids into it, it's definitely not a lot.
it's not.
So you can imagine making $30,000 a year all of your 20s, then to turn around and make more money in 1 year than you made all that whole decade is a mind blowing change.
It
And
can.
a lot of people aren't prepared for that change. I imagine for you, you go from working at Chicken Salad Chick to all of a sudden not only flourishing in your own business, but also not only thriving, but it changes the people around you as well. So, did you ever have any moments where you looked up one day and kind of realized like maybe you had maybe lost some people along the way, maybe didn't have people that maybe some people disagreed with you leaving your insurance job to do this full time or spending your last $400 on education to try to figure out how to do this. Did you have any doubters or any haters or anything in that regard?
I mean, well, first off, I think everybody got some haters.
It's true. If you don't have any haters, you're not doing good enough yet.
Right, you ain't doing good. But as far as like doubters, I never been the type of person to let anybody, get in my ear and try to determine what I'm gonna do or what, stuff like that. So I never paid attention or never gave thought about what nobody else thought. I always like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I don't care whether somebody like it or not because I'm the one who have to go through these.
Yeah, look,
Uh,
that's a fact. That is a
Yep.
big fact. So
Yeah, try not to listen to what other people have to say. Because if you listen to what they have to say, then you never be nowhere.
no, that's big facts. We just estimate how many clients do you say you have under your umbrella as of today?
As today, I probably got about 110, about
Okay.
110 right
And of
now.
course, some people come in, some people go
Yeah,
out. So you have around 100 active clients, right?
each month it be different. Some months I gain, some months you lose. But each month I don't give up.
And how many clients? So since your entire, you've been officially in business, how many people would you think that you have serviced? Whether they came in and
Oh,
out, whether they still with you?
I done help so I done help so many people like I can't even count.
How does
Like,
that feel? How does that make you feel? Like knowing that you've helped so many people buy cars. 'Cause I know, for example, like for us, when I saw you buy your car, when I saw you on vacation,
oh yeah,
like it made me feel good because I'm like, man, like I had a hand in that just to see like your
right.
progress over time. It made us feel proud. So I know you being able to get something off of somebody's report, or you see somebody getting that new house, that new car, that new high limit credit card. Like I know that has to make you feel good.
It do. It made me. It like I be more happy to them. Like my recently one of my clients, she just bought her she just closed on her house over there. I'm not sure if y'all seen it or not, but when she texted me and showed me, like I was so happy because I be knowing because from the beginning they be having so much doubt and like they be feeling like that they can't do it, and in the end like it be so rewarding for me and them because I be feeling like I pushed them to like to go for their goal to to be better and stuff like that. So it made me good when I see like they actually take my advice and listen to me and do what needs to be done so they can level their own self up.
What's the best jump you've seen with a client from where they started to where you ended up getting them at the end? Whether it be credit score, they went from here to here, or they started in the 400s and they ended up getting a new Ferrari. Like, what's the best success story that you have?
The best one, there's a lot to choose from, but
It's good.
the best one would be it's a girl named Tatiana. She was the best one. Like she was with me for maybe like 6 months, 6 to 8 months is an estimate. And she started off in like the low numbers. She started off in the low numbers or whatever. And like her goal from the jump was to get her a new car, to get her a new place or whatever like that. And she took our advice each month, did what we, told her to do. Once we, sent her the emails, they monthly emails, we tell them what they need to do for this month or whatever. And she, each month she took our advice and she ended up, getting her a new house and getting her a brand new car.
Oh wow,
And
she
then
blew it.
she texted me and told me how her car payment was low and she had a low APR on her percentage.
Gotta love that low APR.
Yeah, that's the best part about.
You gotta that no down payment is one thing, but that low interest rate will change your life.
But she was she probably was the best one because she actually like she listened throughout the whole progress. She wasn't in a rush. she knew, like it wasn't no overnight fix, and she did what needed to be done, and she got exactly what she wanted.
Shout out to Tatiana. You got the
And
house
her being
and
patient.
the car.
The patient is the number one key in this business.
Mhm. All right, so it's the last couple of questions before we wrap up here. So I always like to ask our guests just for a timestamp here. So 5 years from now, where would you like to be? Where you think this business is going? Where would you like to see the business going? Where would you like to be in 5 years? Just so 5 years from now, we're gonna look back at this
Right.
and we're gonna hold you to it. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years, I should have like a building for my business, and I want to have like more, well, like more people who can work with me, so I won't have to, like do everything on my own.
Okay.
Give myself more, more free time, because I be glued to this computer all day, every day, trying to
So
make sure,
you're solo, just you by yourself.
just me by myself.
You in the software. So you
Right.
want to be able to hire somebody.
Yeah, I want to be able to have trustworthy people and people who go, treat my business like how I treat my business.
Okay. You think you'll ever pass it on to somebody and kind of not be hands on, or you think this will be your thing until you move on?
I think this be my thing. This be my thing.
Man, look, ain't nothing wrong with that. So how can the people find you? They looking for services. How can they give me all? How can they contact you? All your socials.
Well, my social is Jacoya Rasheda. My website is rise hyphen no not hyphen. I'm sorry. It's rise-forever.com. That's my website. Just in case you want to sign up for your credit repair. And my business page is Rise Forever LLC, 3 R's, so you can find
Okay.
me.
All right, 3 R's. So we got the business, we got the personal page, we got the website. All right, any type of first of all, I guess you doing free consultations, right?
Yep, I do.
So before we even commit to anything, you'll take a look at my credit report.
I will. Yep, I do it all the time.
Okay.
I
I know
try to
you get
give
it.
give more knowledge before they even sign up, because I like for people to feel more comfortable, when they sign up, so they'll be knowing, exactly what to look for.
I know it's all comfortability is always kind of where
Mm.
we're at here. So Jacoya, it has been a joy talking to you. I learned more about you than I knew. So
Right.
shout out to you. You keep doing what you're doing. Like Summer and I are so proud of you. I'm
Thank
pretty sure she says it all the time, but I haven't been able to say it. Like,
you.
we're proud of you. Everything, as small as our circle is, to know that you came from not only just your background, but when we started knowing you to now, like it
Yeah.
is amazing to watch. And we definitely hope you keep going.
Gotcha. I appreciate y'all too, Ryan. You and some, and I
Uh,
thank you for everything.
that's no problem at all. So I guess until next time, we will be seeing y'all.
Okay.